Say, man, never played. They used to take pictures of me when I was in the streets and began asking me how come I don't smile. I told them ain't nothing out here funny. Say amen. And it wasn't. So if I didn't play then, I'm not playing now. But I got joy now. Say amen. I'm happy about some things. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm happy. Say, Turner, I'm happy. I'm just happy to see you. To the book of Job, chapter 23 and verse 11. He said, my foot had held its what? Its steps. His way have I kept and not declined. I've not backed up from it. Neither have I gone back from the commandment of his lips. Now watch Job. Now Job done went through some hell, but Job found the key here. Job found the key. Job done lost 10 of his children. Can you imagine losing 10 of your beloved children at one time? I want you to think about that. 10 of your beloved children at one time. I lost one child, 22-year-old child. I lost one child, and that was heartbreaking. But to lose 10 children, I mean, the girls and boys, you know what I mean, at one time, and then turn right back around, and after you get that news, in the same day, somebody tell you that somebody come and took all of your wealth from you. And then you fall on your knees and you make it up in your mind that I'm not going to charge God foolishly. I'm not going to speak unadvisedly. I'm not going to sin against God, and you fall down, even though it made you tear your clothes off. You understand? But he fell up on his knees, and he didn't curse or cuss or go crazy, but he began to worship God. Now, worship is different than praise. You know, I can just say, thank you, Jesus, and thank you, Lord. But worship is different. It's like, you know, you're my King of Kings. You're my Lord of Lords. You're my great I am. You're my healer. You're my keeper. You're my redeemer. You're my shepherd. You're my everlasting Father, my Prince of Peace. You understand? You're wonderful. You're mighty. You're my breath. You're my coming in, my going out, my up, my down. You know, when you worship him, you adorn him. It's adoration. It's like you magnifying him. You glorifying him. You exalting him. But Job got on his knees and worshiped God. And immediately after he worshiped him, then God let the devil touch his body and afflict him with a cancer. I'm talking about oozing sores and been pus and stuff running out of the sores till the Bible said he took a broken piece of pot and that was in the yard, and he was sitting out, and people didn't want to come near him, and you know what I mean, and didn't want to get near him because they didn't know what it was. And he's scraping the pus and the sores with a broken piece of pot, and Job just sat there, you know, could have just got angry, but he said, though the skin worms eat up my flesh, yet one thing I will yet serve the Lord, that is within my flesh. Job turned around and said, if a man dies, shall he live again? And he's just going through hell, and you understand his friends and Eliphaz and Elihu and Elihu and all them blaming and say, you must have done something wrong, you messed up. Cause, you know, it's sad. It's one thing to go through a trial and then have folk put their foot on your neck. You know what I mean? Talk about you like a dog. That hurts, don't it? That hurts when, you know, people that you think is your, you know, main apple scrap is your ride or die, you know, and they talking about you like a dog, and they sitting way out in the middle of the yard. They won't even come near him. And Job said, listen, I know it's messed up, but he said, I just can't give up. I know there's hope for a tree, though the tree be cut down to the ground and the stump die and the roots dry up. He said, just through the scent of water, I believe it'll sprout again. But that was, it really got nasty because Job didn't have nothing left but just Miss Joe Better. You know what I mean? Just Miss Joe Better. And here come Miss Joe Better just walking down the road, and he's looking at her because everybody done turned their back. They lost his kids and lost his wealth. All I got is my wife. You know what I'm saying? So Miss Job gets up there. She ain't got no house. She done lost 10 kids. So she's stressed all out. She said, Job, do us all a favor. Would you, baby? Do us a favor. I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die because I feel like this trial that we're going through is because of you, you know? And so I just don't want you to die. You know what I want you to do? I want you to curse God and die. You know what I want you to do? Because if you curse God and die, you're going to hell. I want you to go to hell, Job. But this man pulled himself together and said, hold it just a minute. You sound like one of them crazy when you sound like you lost your cotton picking mind. Said, just hold it just a minute. I got a few things to let me know. You know, though the man slay me, though he kill me, I'm going to trust him. He said, all the days of my what? Appointed, appointed means when something's appointed, it has a time to come in and it has a time to go out. My mother used to be a beautician, so she had an appointment book, so she knew when it was coming in and she knew when it was going out. But Job said, all the days of my appointed time, I'm going to wait till when? My change got to come. See, as long as you're in this earth realm, now if you was in some other realm, you understand, in that eternal realm, that nothing changes, right? But when you step into this realm, into this earth realm, it was Moses that caught the revelation when he said, as long as the earth remains, it's going to be seed time and harvest. It's going to be night and day, winter and summer, cold and heat without cease. And then the wise man Solomon said, to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the sun. But then David backed up and said, weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming when? In the morning. Look at your neighbor and say, a change is going to come. Look at your neighbor again, but just touch them if you want to. Shake their hand and say, trouble don't last always. But Job done got to this point now. Job is getting ready to tell you something about what's sustaining him and what's keeping him. It's not a counselor. He's not going getting therapy from nobody. But Job found out. He found the key to this thing, how to sustain himself. Job said, neither have I gone back, 12th verse, gone back from thy commandments, the commandments of his lips. I have what? Esteem. Now the word esteem means to appreciate, to exalt, or to excel above. Esteem to lift up. When I esteem you, I'm lifting you up. I'm putting value on something. You know, some people don't appreciate stuff. They don't esteem their wife for her works and labors that she does. They don't esteem. They don't esteem the husband for the thing. You know, they don't appreciate it. Y'all don't hear me. But Job said, I have esteemed the word of his mouth more than what? Now, if you look at that word food over there, notice that it's in parentheses, but in my Bible it's in italics, meaning that the word is leaning. So that means that this was not an original part of the transcript. They stuck that word in there to call themselves giving it a better meaning. But if you look at it, just read it like it was originally wrote. He said, I have esteemed the words of his mouth more than my what? Yes. Necessary. Anything that I think is necessary, anything, word, family, husband, wife, children, anything, his word, I esteem it, I exalt it above everything that I think is necessary. Are y'all listening? Mm-hmm. So the book of Psalms, I'll be on your way in just a minute. Psalms chapter 119, verse 72. It won't take me long. I don't preach long. I think I read longer than I preach. But we'll get you out of here. Well, you got a free meal, so you can kind of camp out. Psalms 119, and begin reading to you from verse 72. Bear with me just a minute. These were the words of David. And he said, the law of thy mouth is better unto me than thousands of gold and silver. Look at somebody said that word. That law. Because God's word is his law. See, people think the law is like the Ten Commandments and all that. Whatever God says is law. Jesus said it is written in your law that ye are God's. And all of you are the children of the Most High, right? That's what Jesus said. It's written in your law that ye are God's, right? Try to find that in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, or Deuteronomy. You will not find that in what we call the law. That was written in Psalms 82, verse 6. Anything that God says becomes established. It becomes law. But David said, the law of thy mouth is better unto me than thousands of gold and silver. To the 127th verse. Psalms 119, 127. Psalms 119, verse 127. He said, therefore, I love thy commandments above gold. Now that's saying something. David said, I love your word more than money. I don't think that's going on in this generation because folk love money more than love God. But it's stupid to love something that don't even belong to you. It's really a stupid thing. Look at your neighbor and say, you a borrower. God's the loaner. And at the end of the day, you'll find out who owns it. One of the things when people die, the family, long as the person is sick and they're going through, the family's holding in, just, oh Lord, ain't Bessie, ain't Bessie, just, oh Lord, just God, please, Lord, keep Aunt Bessie. And the family hugging all in the waiting room, but let Aunt Bessie die. Things change. Folks start holding hands. Folks start pulling out calculators and start getting their calculator on their phone, start adding up. Who got the policy? Who got the policy? Things change. The moment that Aunt Bessie dies, Aunt Bessie ain't even cold yet. But things change. Because the love of money supersedes any grief. Folks stop grieving and start getting angry. I know they got another policy. That devil ain't another. Somebody stealing. Because the love of money, it supersedes and it changes attitudes. And you understand? But this man said, therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. See, you got different types of gold. You got 10-karat gold. That's trash. That line to be a 10 can. Painted with gold. But see, you got gold. You got 10 karat. You got 12 karat, 14 karat. You got 18 karat. But most Asian folks don't fool with nothing but 24. Or either that you understand? I'm talking about that real stuff. See that real gold. If you don't know what it is. See, real gold, they can't give you real gold because if they make a real ring out of real gold, if you bump up against something, it takes the round. It's soft. Real gold got to have another metal in it to keep it hard, because real gold is soft. So that's why they have to have carats. I didn't know what kind of carats. Me being young, but said carats. I'm thinking carats. 24 carats. I'm trying to think. Carats is kind of yellow. What are these carats up in this guy? Believe it, seriously, I was young. I didn't know what carats was. You didn't either, and still don't know. Somebody asks you what is a carat, you don't know. Y'all looking at me like, you don't know what the carat is? Therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. To the 162nd verse, Psalms 119, 162. Couple little scriptures and I'll be out of the way. It won't take me long. The same man said, I rejoice at thy word, as one that findeth great spoil. If you found a pot of gold worth $20 million, you would be rejoicing with it. Oh, you wouldn't need the band. Oh, you wouldn't need the band. You'd be just shouting. You'd be all out with y'all. You wouldn't need nobody. You'd be shouting by yourself. Say man. Kind of like old boy said he said this lady had lost $300. She had lost $200. At Walmart, she had lost $200. And so this man seen her looking for the $200. And he felt sorry for her. He said, I gave the woman $40. I found $200 and I gave the woman $40. He said, it's always good to, help folk when God bless you. He found $200. She looking for $200, but he found $200 and felt sorry for her and gave her $40. It's always good to bless people. To share when God bless you. I rejoice at thy word as one that findeth great spoil. To the book, let me do this. To the book of Psalm 73. I got one last scripture. Psalm 73, verse 65. Psalm 73, verse 25, I'm sorry. Psalm 73, verse 25. And I'm going to start reading because I just have to quote it. He said, whom have I in heaven but thee? There's none upon earth that I desire beside thee. Can I just read one more? Psalms 27, and this is it. Psalms 27. You get sick, you'll call on God like you'd have lost your mind. Say amen. You know, folk, they get to a point where they feel like, that God don't mean nothing. But let me say this, and I'm getting ready to close. I say it all the time. How many today, out of all the stuff that you thought about, did you think about breathing? Honestly. Even after I tell you about it. Honestly. Let me see the hands. Just, now wait, don't tell no lie now because you stop breathing. You always want to be in the line out there. How many actually thought about breathing today? Thought about your hair, thought about baptism, thought about your gas in your car, thought about your kids, thought about your clothes, your dress, everything, right? But 98.8% of everybody in this building today did not think about breathing. Thought about your husband, thought about your wife, thought about your kids, thought about your grandbabies, thought about your money, thought about your stock market, thought about the games. Say amen. You thought about all this, but you didn't think about breathing. Now, isn't it amazing how that you thought about everything, but you didn't think about breathing? Because breathing don't mean nothing to you, right? Because it's something that you do every second. Pay attention to me. You don't think about breathing, it don't mean nothing to you. But you esteem, you never ever read the scripture say, let everything that have breath praise the Lord. Have anybody ever seen anybody in here anybody here ever seen somebody have an asthma attack? Yes. Raise your hand if you've seen somebody have an asthma attack. You seen it before? That's a horrific sight, isn't it? Because let me show you what they do. The moment that their breath start getting short, I don't care what they got in their hand, they'll drop it. I don't care who they're talking to, they'll stop. I don't care what they're eating, they'll drop it. I don't care what they're doing. When that asthma attack comes, they stop doing it. Don't nothing mean nothing. Don't no car, no house, no money, no bank account. Everything at that particular time don't mean one thing, right? Because that person knows that the most important thing in their life at that moment is breathing. Because if they don't get to breathe, then nothing else means nothing. Yes, but see, remember, God breathed upon man, and man became a living soul. The Bible said God gives to all men life, breath, and all things, right? So now God gives breath to every one of us, right? But then if God is given the breath, and we sit up here worrying about everything else, but we forget about God that gives breath. What if God right now just took your breath from you? As much as you love them kids, as much as I see you love them kids, what if he took your breath? Well, not a child, nothing on the face of the sun made nothing. See, and we do stuff because man think he's so smart, we so arrogant, we so proud, and we got this thing like, we in control. Do you know how nothing you are? Do you really know how nothing you are? Do you understand that your best state, you altogether nothing? You understand what I'm saying? If you have talent, God gave you that. Be thankful. If you got fame, man gave you that. Be grateful. But if you got content and you got that self-sufficiency spirit, you gave yourself that. Be careful. Be careful. See, we got this thing in us like we think we doing something. You ain't doing nothing. In him you live, you move, you have your being. Yes. Y'all listening to me? I'm going to just quote it. I'm going to just quote the last scripture. Here it is. In the book of Matthew chapter 5. And I'm quoting the rest. I'm going to through it. I'm going to be out of the way. I already ruffled some feathers. Because see, that pride spirit, that spirit of pride, it's sad that, you know, pride is a demon that God, that's the only spirit that God fights. You know why he fights pride? Because pride fights him. Pride thinks it's smarter than God. And that's crazy. That's like, you know, just, isn't it insane that you look at God like he don't know nothing about you? He knows your down sitting, your uprising, you're coming in, you're going out. He knows every intricate part of you. Everything, knows your thoughts are far off. Everything about you. Everything about you. But we get to the point where we think we're in control. You're not in control of nothing. You're not in control of nothing. Not one thing. I have an uncle, and I'm not saying this in a boasting bragging way. He's very wealthy man. But his wife, she was had cancer. And they had the hospice, they had the nurse there at the house. And so the nurse, he was sitting there by the bedside, and she was looking at him, and all of a sudden she took that last breath. And so that nurse looked at him and said, "That's it." He said, "What?" He said, "That's it." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "That's it. That's it. She's gone. That's it." He said, "Now all of these 50-something years we have been married, and that's it, just like that. That's it." I'm talking about the end of everything. We goes to the funeral. They said that she had 200 and something pairs of shoes. And an outfit for every shoe that she had. She had clothes and closets. And he said sometimes he wouldn't have enough to put his clothes in. Big as the house was. But all of this stuff that she had, when that was it, she did not take nothing with her. Because wherever she got it from, that's who she had to leave it to. God on the earth and the fullness thereof and all that dwell therein. Watch me now. See, that's why sometimes you think I'm playing. You don't play right now. So you got these church boys, these preachers playing with you. They playing with your soul for money. They playing with your soul for fame. They playing with your soul. You're a head count to them. One of the things I used to hate when I was in prison, you know what I used to hate? You know what I used to hate more than anything? For the bookers to tell me to stand up and stand at the line and do a count. You know what that meant to me? You wasn't nothing but a body. You wasn't nothing but a body. You understand me? That used to bother me. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, but that really did something to my humanity, man. We count. Sometimes we count 3 and 4 times, at once. Sometimes we miss a meal counting your body, And my name wasn't Darryl McCoy no more. My name was a part of the count, 102-12-826. I don't care how many years it's been since you've been incarcerated. You will not forget that number because that's a number you logged in as a count, as a number. Nothing. Matthew 5. Begin to read to you, and I'm almost through. Matthew 5. And I'm going to read to you from verse 6. Matthew 5 and 6. Blessed, happy, fortunate, one to be envied are they which do what? Hunger and thirst after righteousness. For they what? For they what? Shall be filled. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, as I come before you, and I'm asking for these next 25, 30 minutes, I ask for the patience of the people, Lord. I ask, God, that you would cause them to understand the most important part in their life, Lord. Let a blessing be upon them, Lord. God, I pray that you let this word fall like a mighty rain that germinates the grass to grow. And let it fall down like a mighty hammer that breaks rocks into fine pieces. Let the very words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. In Jesus' name, thank God, amen. Now, children of God, I want to say this. We're almost through. You know, I was praying and I was in Jacksonville, Florida. And the Lord began to speak to me and he said, I want you to begin to put forth the emphasis on the importance of me. I want you to show forth the importance of me. Well, you know, I teach all the time how that, you know, God called Abraham out of the land of Mesopotamia and he told him to go dwell, called him out of Babylon, called him out of confusion, and told him to go up dwell in the land of Sharon, and how that God spoke to him and told him, he said, Abraham, I've chosen thee. And he said, I'm going to bless you, Abraham, and I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to bless you with a seed, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. And he said, Abraham, he said, I'm going to multiply your seed more than the multitude of the stars in the sky, more than the multitude of the sand by the sea. And he said, in this seed that you're going to have by the name of Isaac, he said, I'm going to make a covenant with this child. I'm going to make a covenant. And from thine own bowels, I'm going to bless you with a child. Meaning that I'm going to bless you with a child from you and your wife, Sarah. You understand what I'm saying? This for you and Sarah. Well, you know how that God spoke to Abraham. He said, now, and I'm going to bless this seed, but I'm going to give you a land that floweth with milk and honey, right? And he said, I'm going to be with you. And he said, not a word shall go out of my mouth and fall to the ground void until I brought it all to pass. Well, you know that Abraham went into this darkness, and a horror of darkness come down upon him. And Abraham said, the Lord spoke to Abraham right in the next instance and said, that seed that I blessed Abraham is getting ready to go into bondage to a people that know not God, not for 4 days, not 4 weeks, but 400 years. They're going to go into bondage, and after which I shall raise up a deliverer that shall bring them out of the house of bondage. Well, you know that Abraham begot Isaac, Isaac begot Esau, and Esau sold the birthright, and Jacob got him, and Jacob begot 12 patriarchs, 12 sons, and one of them was Joseph. Well, you know how they sold Joseph down into Egypt land, and how that God was with him, and God messed around and brought him out of his trouble and gave him favor in the eyes of Pharaoh, how that Pharaoh put him in second in command, and how they later on Joseph sent for his family 70, and they come up out and come down into Egypt land and begin to multiply. But that Pharaoh died, and there arose another Pharaoh that knew not Joseph nor his family. And he looked at him and he said, saw him multiply, and he knew that there was a mighty nation. And he said, we're going to have to deal subtly with these people. He said, unless they grow up and overtake our nation. So they made them make brick out of straw, and made them not build houses and churches, but they made them build treasure cities. Lift your hand and say, the devil don't know what he's doing. Satan think he's doing something to you, but he's doing something for you. And that's why you have to get the right attitude. When you learn God, you're going to be strong. The people that do know that God going to be strong. See, when you get to understand the purpose of God, and God don't make not one mistake, you understand? One mistake, then you'll be able to give God glory in your worst situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? Well, he put them up under bondage, and they began to build treasure cities. But how that God said, after 400 years, I'm going to raise up a deliverer. Well, Pharaoh knew that he, you know, Satan always records. See, when you come to church and you get a prophecy, you just sit there and just go to shouting. But the devil writing this stuff down. He records this, right? You understand? So he knew that in 400 years a deliverer was going to be raised up. So he put out a decree and told the Egyptian midwives that when the Hebrew women have a baby, if it's a male child, kill it. But if it's a female, let it live, because he knew a deliverer was going to come up out. Well, when them babies were being born, and God gave them in Hebrews favor in the eyes of them Egyptian midwives, and for 2 straight years they let the babies live. Well, Pharaoh found out about it, and he said, y'all let them say, well, we couldn't kill them. They were such goodly children. And Pharaoh put out a decree, because he knew that somebody was getting, that's why the devil fighting your children, because he knows that there's a deliverer. We in the last last day. And there's a radical young bunch of folk getting to rise up that ain't worrying about man, police, or the beast. That for God they're going to live and for God they're going to die. It's like a movement getting ready to happen. God ain't playing. There's some folk, amen, God going to let them go through things and God going to bless them and God's going to be number one in their lives. Well, he knew that they're to deliver, so he put out a decree to kill the 2 years and under. But the Bible said, by faith, Moses, when the Bible said, faith said, Moses' mother, you understand, when Moses was coming to years, he said his mother refused to kill the child, but she hid the child for 3 months. And after 3 months, she took the child and put it in a basket and set it floating down the Nile River, trying to get it away. Lift your hand and say, God, don't make no mistakes. Try to send the child, get it away from Pharaoh. But she sent the baby down the Nile River and told her, Miriam, follow the little basket and see where it's going. And so the baby floating and the baby just screaming and crying. And she trying to get it away from the enemy. But God pushed the baby right into the hands of Pharaoh's daughter. Y'all don't hear me. Satan don't know everything. I'm trying to help you today. The devil don't know everything. If the princes of this world hadn't known, he never would have crucified my Lord and Savior. Satan don't know everything. He think he doing something to you, but if you get the right understanding, he doing something for you. That's why you need to give God praise, because the devil, listen, when you in God, you in the truth. And well, guess what? You can't do nothing against the truth, but only something for them. You can only do something for the truth. Are y'all listening to me? Now watch this here. Here it is. She's sending the baby down the Nile River. And here it was now. God let the baby float right into the hands of Pharaoh's daughter. And she looked and the baby was crying a little Mary. She looked in between the bushes and the woman drew the baby out and she said, listen, one of the little Hebrew babies, she said, I'm going to call it Moses, meaning that I drew it out of the water. And the bushes moved and she saw because the Hebrews wore certain clothing. She said, little girl, come here. With Mary shaking like a leaf. She said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go find me a Hebrew woman to nurse this child, because I'm going to take this child and raise it up like it's my own. Well, little Miriam took off running down the banks of the Nile River. Y'all don't hear me. Run down, ran through a yard, jumped over a fence, ran in between some houses, and ran in the back door of the house. Said, Mama, baby. So Mama said, what, baby? Mama, Pharaoh's daughter got Moses. Oh, Lord. She said, no, Mama, don't get upset. She sent me to come and get somebody to nurse the baby. Now listen, when you obey God, see, because the woman refused to obey the commandment of Pharaoh. You understand? Sometimes when you don't take down, when you don't back down, folks say, well, Brother McCoy, if you compromise, look how much money you could have. If you would just go ahead and bow down and just let people do their own thing, your churches would be filled from one end to the other. Folk like your music. Folk like the gift that you have. You know, you can have people everywhere. But see, if I compromise with man, then I would lose out with God. But here was a woman that refused to compromise, set in slave quarters in a place called Goshen. The little girl told her, said, Mama, now she in Goshen in a project, in a development. And the little girl said, Mama, Pharaoh's daughters told me to come get somebody to nurse the little baby. She called the baby Moses, Mama, and Mama packed up her little bags, went from the Goshen all the way to the king's palace, and sat there and nursed this child until the child got of age. Y'all don't hear it. But the Bible said when Moses was come to years, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, but he chose rather to suffer the affliction of the people of God rather to enjoy. See, this is what I'm trying to show you. See, we're doing things and we think it's okay, but Moses, he left us an example. The old books of the Bible were written for your example, for your admonition, for your learning. Moses chose rather to suffer the affliction with the people of God, rather to enjoy the pleasures of sin. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't sad in sin. I didn't have no cases. I wasn't broke, you understand? You understand? I was sad. I was tired of going to jail. I was tired of seeing the bloodshed. There were pleasures in sin, but the pleasures are just for a season. After a while, it's got a paycheck. Sin got a paycheck. The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. But he chose rather to suffer the affliction with the people of God to enjoy the pleasures of of sin for a season. And he decided that he wanted to be a deliverer. Well, you know how he killed the Egyptian and had to run up in the mountain. And watch this. And after he was up there, went up in there 40 years old. But God put him up in the mountain and maybe let him meet some folk. Didn't care nothing about his kingly status. Didn't care nothing about who he once was, Pharaoh's the son. But he met a man named Jethro that didn't care nothing about that. And put him out there with sheep. Y'all don't hear me, sheep. When he got out there, remember Moses was a man that was eloquent in the Egyptians' wisdom and speech. He was eloquent in the Egyptians' wisdom and speech. But if you somewhere 40 represents maturity or a generation, God left him up there with them sheep for 40 years. You understand? 80 years old. Well, one day Moses sat out there with them sheep. Association brings about simulation. Sheep stutter. So Moses went to study. And all of a sudden Moses come home one day and he looked and saw this amazing sight. He saw a bush burning, but it was not being consumed. I mean, it was burning, but it wasn't being burnt up. And Moses got ready to get closer to it. But the closer he got, all of a sudden a voice come out of heaven and said, Moses, Moses. He said, take off your shoes, for the ground that you walk on is holy ground. He said, Moses, I have come down because I've heard the cries of my people, and I've come down to deliver. He said, Moses, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go down into Egypt land and tell Pharaoh to let God's people go. Moses said, I'm slow to speech. I don't know how to do it. He said, Moses, shut your mouth, baby. Who made your mouth? I made your mouth and I speak for you. You understand what I mean? He said, Moses, this is what I want you to do. Put your hand in your bosom. When he put his hand in his bosom, put it out. And it was slit with leprosy. Moses is looking up. He said, don't scream. He said, put it back in your bosom. And he pulled it out again, and it was just as pure and smooth as a baby's skin. He said, Moses, throw your rod down. Lift your hand and say, God, get ready to equip us. Whatever he done, he get ready to do it again. He said, throw your rod down. And when he threw the rod down, the rod turned into a serpent. And usually you try to grab a snake by the head. But he said, don't grab it by the head. Grab it by the tail. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. And when Moses grabbed the rod by the tail, it turned back into a rod. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. He said, God, he said, wait a minute now. He said, don't worry about it. He said, Aaron shall be your mouthpiece. He said, but you shall be as God unto Pharaoh. He said, hold it just a minute, God. Who in the world shall I tell him sent me? I got to tell him, I got to tell him who I got the orders for. He said, I'll tell you who to tell him. Tell him that I am. That I am has sent thee. You understand that you can add what you want to add. I am your mother, your father, your daddy. You understand? I am that I am has sent thee. And I want you to go down there and tell Pharaoh to let God's people go. And you know the story, how he went down there. And Pharaoh hardened his heart. And God spoke to Moses and turned the water to blood. You understand what I mean? Caused lightning bolts to burn up the sheep and the oxen. He caused frogs to come up out of the water. Y'all don't hear me what I'm saying. Lice and bugs to come. Y'all don't hear me. And Pharaoh still didn't want him to go. But God did it on purpose to get glory. You understand? Because I'm getting to bring deliverer. First of all, you got to understand that God can't lie. There's two immutable things in which God cannot lie. That's his counsel and his oath. God don't lie. Do you understand? I was trying to tell somebody said you prophesied to somebody that it didn't come to pass. Well, you got to understand there are some prophecies. They as is. And can't nothing change them. But then there are other prophecies that are based on condition. God can prophesy, but you don't meet the condition, then you lose the prophecy. In other words, I made a promise that I would give them the land of Canaan. But then he turned around with a nasty attitude. He said, I swear that I'm not going to give it to you. He told Isaiah, go in there and tell Hezekiah. He said, Isaiah, tell Hezekiah to get his house in order, for he shall die and not live. Y'all don't hear me. He went in there and told Hezekiah, get your house in order. God said, you're getting ready to die. Hezekiah didn't have time to call a 24-hour prayer meeting. He didn't have time to call his favorite preacher. But if you read and you look at the prayer that Hezekiah prayed, if you read and count the time time, it was only 8 seconds. In the 8 seconds, Hezekiah turned toward the wall and said, Lord, you walked up right before you. I've done the things that you told me to do. He said, Lord, please, you know I've kept your word. And the Bible said, while his head was turned toward the wall, God spoke to Isaiah before he got out of the gate of the yard. And he said, Isaiah, go back in there and tell Hezekiah that I've added 15 more years back into his life. God can change anything. You understand that God made a promise. And I'm going to give you a land. Now you got to watch this. So he told Abraham, I'm going to give you a land. And I'm going to give it to your seed. So when Moses went down there, Pharaoh, I'm almost through this and let me run through it. Pharaoh didn't want to let him go, but God said, now, I'm getting ready to bring divine deliverance. Lift your hand and say, when God get ready to move, if the devil got to back up down, that's why I'm telling you, I don't care about your kids. When they set up and told my mama, all your other children might be saved, but that boy Possum is demon possessed. That boy's going to hell. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. And mama had that old Church of God in Christ favor. She said, is there anything too hard for the Lord? Brother, God can do it anything but fail. You understand? I don't care when the psychiatrist told her your son will be a habitual criminal all the days of his life. He'll be a drug addict. And that woman walked out that psychiatrist's office with a purse on her arm and looked back and said, let God be true and every man be a liar. Y'all been becoming with my God. Hallelujah. I got 8, 9 years later. Look at me now. I'm talking about a woman that kept on knocking on heaven's door. And know that God said, I bless the fruit of your body. I bring your sons from far. I nurse your daughters by your side. Took God at his word. When listen, God said, I'm going to bring you out of this house. But he said, Moses, tonight, I'm going to bring y'all out. He said, tell everybody to get a lamb according to the eat of the house. Kill the lamb. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Take the blood and pour it in a basin and take hyssop and dip it in the blood and go out and sprinkle the blood upon the dirt posts and upon the lintels of the house. He said, tonight and the rest of the lamb y'all eat it. He said, bind on your sandals, cast your garments about you. He said, tonight the death angels getting ready to ride by. And when you see the blood, go back in the house and don't come out the house, because when the death angel ride by, he gonna kill everything that ain't covered with the blood. That's why the Bible said, listen, when there's no shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. I love the old song, what can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Nothing that can make me whole again. Nothing but the blood of Jesus. He said, tonight the death angel's going to ride and kill the firstborn and all throughout all Egypt. But that night, they was in the house covered with the blood. That's why you got that thing called the Passover. Lift your hand and say, I still got it today. I still got that Passover today. I don't care what kind of eye went, eye whack. I don't care what's going to happen. God is going to preserve the people. The Bible said that God had not appointed us under wrath. That's what I'm trying to tell for folks scared. You got the business being scared. The reason you scared because you ain't got God. Perfect love cast out fear. You understand? He that feareth is not made perfect in love. And whosoever keepeth my word, in him, you understand? In him is the love of God perfected. But watch this now. Watch this. After that, after the death angel come through Egypt land, killed Pharaoh's child, killed up everything. The next morning, Pharaoh said, get out of here, Moses. I want you and the children of Israel to get out of Dodge. When they got themselves together, on their way getting out of Dodge, coming out of Egypt land, when they got up on their way to the promised land, and between them and the promised land was a red, not river, not a red branch, but a red sea. I'm almost through there with me now. A red sea. And when he got there, he went to murmuring and complaining. Already they got covered with the blood. But God almost got out. And with the Moses, you done got us out here. You should have left us in Egypt land. At least we would have had graves to be buried in. We ought to go back. And God said, listen, I'm going to let the devil lose you. Look at your neighbor and say, sometimes the devil ain't there to destroy you. He's there to push you to the next level of your life. Your trials is not to kill you or to hurt you, but to push you back to your prayer life, push you back to your dedication, push you back to church. Brother, God can let a sickness or disease come upon you. I'm not going to let the devil kill you. I'm going to just whoop you back to God. I'm going to whoop you in a room. And the folk may not see you, but you be somewhere in the bathroom, in the crying, God, you'll bring me out of this, Lord. If you would get me through this, Lord. God, listen, I'll get it straight, Lord. But God let the devil loose and set up at the Red Sea fussing and never complaining. He said, Pharaoh, he said, I want you to get your chariots. I don't want no wagons. I don't want no prisoners. I want you to go kill these folk. And the Bible said that Pharaoh was riding hard. They was riding. And the children of Israel fussing and cussing with Moses. When the 17, and they said, we need to go back. And when the Lord looked back and saw Pharaoh come, and saw Pharaoh looked at the Red Sea. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Saw Pharaoh, and they said, Moses, what in the world are we going to do? What are we going to do? Moses said, Lord, God said, Moses, quit. Don't you quit, Moses. Don't you get afraid. He said, what do you got in your hand? He said, I got a rod, Lord. He said, lift up the rod, Moses. And when Moses lifted up the rod, the one scripture said the Lord blew his nose, and the Red Sea parted hither and thither. And the Bible said the waters congealed. In other words, they Jello. They turned into jello. Because if you get too under the water, you got an undertow. There's a little kids. And if they get too close to the water, it will pull them under. But God turned the water to jello. You understand that means if they bumped up against it, it'll bump them back. And they walked through on dry land. But when they got over on the other side, you understand God left it dry for a while. And let Pharaoh come through the Red Sea. Lift your hand and say, God, and let the devil think he would come to you. Look at your neighbor and say, there's some trials that you ain't going to never see again. There's some demons you've been battling, you ain't never going to see them again. They got over on the other side. And Miriam grabbed her tambourine and she looked back, and here come Pharaoh through the Red Sea. God said, he said, now look back. Only time that God ever told his folk to look back. He said, you see Pharaoh, you see your enemy today, you'll never see him again. And the Bible said the Red Sea closed up. Y'all won't hear me. And Miriam and the little church folk grabbed their tambourines and began to say, oh, how I got over. But God said, now we get ready to go into the promised land. It was only a 3 days journey from where they were. And we got to listen to them. That God took Moses. He said, before I take them there, we got to have some rules and regulations. Because the Canaanites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, the Gergesites, the reason they losing the land because they violated my laws. So I'm going to give you words, understand, that's going to cause you to go over in the land and live. So come up on the mountain. Moses went in the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. God gave him the oracles. God gave him the commandments. And Moses come down out of the mountain. He told Moses what to do. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. And Moses come down out of the mountain. And he said, listen. He said, now listen, you got to keep these commandments. And Moses broke them, and God told him to come back up and gave him the commandments again. But Moses began to write. He said, now listen. He said, Moses knew the ways of God, but the children of Israel only saw his acts. They didn't really know what God was doing, but Moses did. And Moses wrote and he said, now listen, I'm coming in now. He said, I want you to remember all the way, not that the devil, all the way, not the demons, all the way that the Lord, some of the stuff you're going through in your home, in your marriage, with your children, with your body, with your finances. It ain't a devil thing. If you save, how many of y'all love God? Raise your hand. How many feel like God's hand is upon you? But guess what? There's benefits to the lovers. If you in God, the devil just can't at random touch you when you get ready. If you're dead and your life is here with God in Christ, the devil can't put his hand on you when you get ready. He has to have permission from God. He got to come through God, through Christ, just to touch you. God in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The devil got to come through that Word. But there's some words that tell the devil what he can do and what he can't do. First of all, he can't put no more upon me than I'm able to bear. Second of all, understand that it may be my affliction, but God going to deliver me out of it all. Thirdly, weeping may endure for a night. Joy is coming in the morning. These light afflictions are but for a moment. So Satan, you can't do but so much to me. And then he's got to come through the anointing. So by the time the devil get through the word and through the anointing, everything that he meant to do to me, now he's got to do it for me. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about it. That's why I don't care. Devil hit my home, took my wife, took her mind for 26 years. God came in, let the devil kill my 22-year-old son. Y'all don't hear me. I went through hell and hot water. Y'all don't to me, but guess what? Guess what you never seen Brother McCoy do? I gave God glory, I gave him praise, because I found out it ain't a devil thing, it's a God thing. I'm giving to help you today. I'm going to show you how to get the best out your mess, the gain, out your pain, the crown out your cross, the glory out of yourself. And I'm going to show you how to be an overcomer. Whatsoever's born of God overcomes the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. How can you believe on him whom you've not heard? How can you hear without a preacher? How can the preacher preach except to be said? The Bible says faith coming by hearing, and by hearing the words of the Lord. Are y'all listening to me today? So here the God spoke to him and said, Moses, I want you to tell him something. He said, I want you to remember all of the way that the Lord thy God led you for 30 years. He led them in the wilderness. Could have left them in the wild. Could have left them in the wild bird. But he went, sent them to the wilderness and suffered them the hunger, suffered them the thirst. He sent them among fiery serpents. He sent them among scorpions. When instead of sent them through hell, suffered them the hunger. And guess what he did it for? Number one, I did it so I can humble you. Watch this. Because you will never be able to follow me till you realize you don't know nothing. You'll never be able to obey me till you realize that I'm insufficient. See, we all of that in a bag of chips. We think we got it going on. We think, you understand, because we got a degree and we got a status quo in life. If we somebody, you ain't nothing. If it be not for the Lord that be on your side, where would you be? Paul backed up and said, I'm a Pharisee of Pharisees. I'm of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin. When I stand concerning the law, I'm blameless. I set up under Gamaliel. I got degrees, you understand? I know Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus by heart by the time I was 12 years old. But Paul said, I count all of my achievements but dung. What, Paul, that I might win the excellency of the knowledge of Jesus Christ. I want to know the man of the power of his resurrection and the fellowship of his suffering. I'm almost through here, y'all. But instead of saying, but Moses said, this is why God led you through the wilderness all of these days. Number one, to humble thee. Number one, to humble you. I'm going to break you down. I'm going to humiliate you. Then instead of you, I'm going to let your house go in the foreclosure. I'm going to let your car get repossessed. I'm going to let your child get pregnant before they get 15 years old. I'm going to let your child get kinfolk go to jail. And y'all listen to me. I'm going to send you through hell. I'm going to let you get a divorce. I'm going to let you get a separation. I'm going to send you through hell. Well, you better God, you're the God I love, Lord. Now I got to humiliate you. I got to show you that I am in total control. So the first thing that God does, he'll humble you. And then the next thing God does, he's going to prove you. He's going to test you to see whether or not you'll keep his commandments or no. God will put you through things. I'll give you stuff. I'll put things in your way. I'll give you money. I'll put women in your way. I'll put men in your way. I'll see if you'll put stuff before you. I want to try you to see if I'm number one in your life. There's some of you today, God can give you a house, can put the finest woman, the finest man in front of you. And some of you that know that the Lord done brought you far. Some of you, God done blessed you over and above. You got to go out and try to figure out what car you want to drive. You got to go in the house and try to look around and see what bedroom you want to sleep in. God done blessed you. But some of you, like Brother McCoy, it was David that said, I will not be satisfied until I awaken with his likeness. I'm not going to be satisfied until I can feel the peace of God. Something that they don't sell in Walmart. Until I feel the joy of God. Something that you can't find at J.C. Penney's. You understand me? So I'm sending you. I'm sending you through and humbling you. Then I'm going to prove you. I'm going to test you. I'm going to try you to see what's in your heart. You understand? That woman can come to you. That man can come to you. That money you got, it didn't come. I'm trying you. I want to see. Do you love me more than these? Do you love me? I'm letting some of y'all fall. I let you fall into diverse temptation just to see. And some of you done failed, but there's some of you say, Lord, don't leave me like this, Lord. You can take the woman, take the man, take the money, take everything you want, but don't take your Holy Spirit away from me, Lord. There's some of you that, my God, Lord, please, I don't care what you do, Lord. Don't take your joy away. Don't take it away from me, Lord. I miss you, Lord. That's when I went down and went through that trial. My cry was, God, I miss you, Lord. God, I miss talking to you, Lord. I miss the Holy Ghost food dance, Lord. I miss the anointing, Lord. I miss Illicit fellowship, Lord. There's some of you today that God will send you to hell just to hear your cry. Say, God, you can take it all. God spoke to me one day. I went through a trial. When God spoke to me, I listened. I said, God, I failed you. He said, you ain't failed me yet. I said, wait a minute. I got 13 churches. I said, he said, you failed me. I said, I failed you, Lord. He said, not yet. I said, I'm drinking, Lord. He said, you still ain't failed. I said, I'm smoking, Lord. He said, you still ain't failed. I said, I'm homebuging, Lord. He said, you still ain't failed. I said, God, I done gave up. He said, you still ain't failed. He said, I got one more test. He said, I got one more test. I said, I got soul ties, Lord. My emotions is wrapped up in things, Lord. He said, you've not failed me yet. He said, I got one more test. It ain't a drug test, an alcohol test, a money test. It ain't a woman test. Let them hear what I'm saying. It's a verbal test. I'm going to ask you a question. If you cannot answer this question, that's when you fail me. He said, son, now mind you now, I'm messed up. 13 churches. I'm messed up and backslid like a last year's Eagles measure. And God spoke to me and said, you ain't failed me. You got to understand the devil didn't touch you. He didn't touch Job. I lift the hedge up off of Job because I had a plan. Look at your neighbor and say, God got a plan. So God said, I'm going to ask you this one question. It ain't a woman test. It ain't a man test. It ain't a money test. It ain't an alcohol drug test. It's a verbal test. He said, this is the question. Lovest thou me more than these? Do you love me more than the women? Do you love me more than the money? Do you love me more than the alcohol or the drug? Do you love me more than the gambling? Do you love me instead of me more than the pleasure? Instead of, I went to thinking about the peace that I used to have. When I went to think about how I would wake up in the morning and feel the presence of God. When I would think about how I can hear the voice of God like you speaking to me. When I think about how God didn't let nothing come upon me without me knowing about it. You know what I told God? I told God, I said, God, take the woman, take the money, take the drug, take that car, take everything you want to take. I love you more than anything. I love you more than anything, Lord. Lord, I esteem your word more than anything. Lord, right now, there's nothing mean nothing to me. If I ain't got the peace of mind, the joy divine. Lord spoke to me. Y'all better hear me what I'm saying. He said, son, you passed the test. Y'all better hear me what I'm saying. I'm talking about a presence come up in the room. I was sick as a dog. I'm passing blood through my urine, blood through my stool. Sick, couldn't hardly walk. Y'all better hear me, couldn't put my hand behind my head. Demons was everywhere. I had a growth in a part of my body. There was so much pain that it would cause me to saliva just to come out of my mouth. It was so painful. All but that day, God gave me a divine supernatural miracle. Y'all don't care what I'm saying. If the Lord say the same, I'll be 66 in just a few more months. And nobody but the Lord that spared me gave me another chance. Y'all better hear what I'm saying. Listen, I esteem the word of God. Y'all better hear, you see this word? Y'all coming to church because somebody invited you. Y'all coming to church because you just want to. If you know Darryl, McCoy, I'm from the streets. You understand what I'm saying? I was up here to sin. You understand? I ain't forgot how to roll the joint. I ain't forgot how to talk slick. I ain't forgot you understand nothing. Every demon that ever got cast out of me was right behind me. Paul David said, there ain't but one step between me and death. You understand what I mean? I'm sitting up here and sleep one night and thought and then dreaming about something heinous that I used to do when I was in sin. And I woke up out of the dream about a year and a half ago. And I said, God, forgive me, Lord. Please have mercy, Lord. I'm sorry, Lord. And while I was saying it, I didn't see it, but I heard it. A presence right by the bed said, I just want you to know we're still here. Every demon that ever come out of me, every spirit that you ever had is right there with 7 more other spirits waiting to come back in. And then we're going to ask God. I said, Lord, help me. I'm not just coming to church because I want to. I know you might be, but I'm coming to church because I have to. I got to have this to keep that from coming back. I need this to keep that from jumping back on me. I got to have this to keep peace in my mind, joy in my soul. Because if I don't have peace in this, I would keep them in perfect peace whose mind is stayed upon me. Instead of you esteem the word of God more than your necessary food. You don't understand what the word is. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things are made by him, and without him there's not anything made that is made. In that Word is light, and that light was the light of men. This Word is light. It's light. Ain't no life in drugs, ain't no life in sex. After you have the sex, if it was that good, you wouldn't need it but one time. But you got to keep going back. Y'all don't hear people's hearts getting over. Babies are being born without a daddy and mama. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Folk get going through trials, diseases, and infection. You won't get sicker. Things are getting to happen. Y'all been hearing. I ain't got no peace, so I got to go back to smoking. I don't have no peace, so I got to go back to drinking. I don't have no peace, so I got to go to looking at stuff that I don't got no business looking at to try to have peace. But all of that worldly peace got a side effect. And if you get the Word of God, it ain't no side effect to it. It's the peace of mind that you're divided. People are selling their soul for a few minutes of pleasure. You understand me? Losing everything by means of a whorish woman. Is a man brought to a piece of bread. One woman can bring you down to the ground. You understand? It's easy today. But the Me Too generation, all they got to do is say you scratch and you touched them the wrong way. But it's over for you. You understand what I mean? There's a people in this place today who say, Lord, do what you got to do. Give me your Word today. I got to have your Word. You think you got to have a job. You think you got to have money. And at the end of the day, if you don't have God, you know what I found out when I went through my trial. You know what I found out when I went through my trial. You understand what I mean? I found out something. When the devil took my wife 26 years ago, 27 years ago, with 6 children. You understand? They didn't even know who their mama was. You understand what I mean? They would come to get a hug. She would push them down and say, I don't know you. She couldn't bathe herself. I had to bathe. I had to brush her teeth. Y'all don't hear me. They don't know what a home cooked meal means. You understand? On Mother's Day, I get a Mother's Day card. Y'all better hear me. Let me tell you how sick she was. Her baby boy, 22 years old, died. And those of you that went to the funeral, you didn't see a tear come from that woman's eyes. That woman didn't have a tear to roll down her face because she didn't know who the boy was. She knew it might have been a child, but she never had a relationship with him. So it didn't even hurt her for a 22-year-old child to die because she had lost her mind for 20-something years by the time when instead a child died, she couldn't even cry. And you listen to me today. That's what I'm saying. The stuff that God had done to me, stuff that God sent me through. I don't care what I'm saying. But God will try you. I want to see what your head is at. Out of all the stuff that I went through, God let the devil kick my home. God let my preachers turn on me and try to take me to court. God let me kill me. People dying. Shit happening. But I'm still giving God praise. I'm still telling God I love you, Lord. Now God can let me fall. I went back to drinking out of all this stuff. God, please, Lord, please, let a preacher come and prophesy and say, son, you going down like the Titanic. I fell on my knees and up the crying. I said, God, you done took my wife. You done took my best friend. You done felt betraying me. I said, what in the world am I going to do, God? I said, I love you, Lord. I'm giving you everything I got. And while I was out there crying, he came and laid his hands on me. And he said, even as you're going down like the Titanic, I saw God raising you back up like the 737. I saw people coming from the east, the west, and the south. Coming to keep you. See me? Somebody said, well, you got no notes. I am a word. I done been through hell. You see me? I ain't got to rehearse this thing. I know, like the songwriter said, you can't make me doubt it. I know too much about it. See, I know him as a healer. I know him as a deliverer. I know him as a mind, a heart fixer, a mind regulator. I know him as a doctor in the sick room. I know him as a lawyer. You hear me? You understand what I mean? You read the Bible that says, with the stripes you're healed. You read the Bible that says, he sent his word over here. You read the Bible that says, you understand, healing is the children's bread. I done been sick as a dog. You understand what I mean? I woke up one day in a psychiatric ward in Savannah, Georgia. Felt so much pressure on my mind. Had me in a cage. Y'all don't care what I'm saying. If it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, you looking at a walking miracle, you got your nerves to not give God glory. If it be not for the Lord, you be sick as a dog. If it be not for God, you be send my word, David said, my soul that pant after thee, as a heart that pant after water, so that my soul pant after thee. In other words, I will esteem your word more than silver and gold. He said the word of God is to me is like a man that has found a great spoil. Lift your hand and surprise to me. It's a surprise to me. Because if it wasn't for that word, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. You know what brought me back? It was the same word that got Jesus out of hell. It was a word that said I will not suffer my holy one to see corruption. Even when I leave his soul in hell, you would have got him out of hell. A word to say, I'll smite you, but I'm going to heal you. I'll torn you, but I'm going to bind you up. On the second day, I'm going to revive you. And on the third day, I'm going to raise you back up. Lift your hand today. And guess what got me? When the devil told me, Sister River, it was over. You'll never get back again. God spoke to me and told me, these light afflictions which are but for a moment are awakening you a far greater and exceeding way to glory. But the devil told me that I would never come out. I would be like this forever. God spoke to me and told me, he said, son, don't let the devil trick you. In the earth realm, everything is run by seasons and time. He said, son, hold on. Your change is about to come. You don't hear me like James Cleveland said. This too has got to pass. He told me, I would believe the Lord that brought me this far to lead me. God, give me to bring some of y'all out today. This is your day. You're on your way coming out of that trial. I don't care what the devil say. I'm sending my word. There's somebody that devil say, Lord, enough is enough and too much is too much. You got to help me. I know you've been sitting around a bunch of preachers praying with you, but there's somebody that been telling you that God can't fail. God don't lie. God can do anything but fail. I don't care how long you've been bound. I don't care how long your habit is. I don't care what the devil say. I don't care what your lawyer say. I don't care what your doctor say. I don't care what the criminologist say. Let God be true and every man be a liar. You know what you ought to do? You ought to hunch the neighbor next to you and look at them and say, ask them the question, is there anything too hard for the Lord? You ought to ask them, is there anything too hard for the Lord? You understand what I'm saying? God can do anything. When they told my mama I would never be saved, when the psychiatrist said he's a lost hope, but look at me now. Look at what God can do. But he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. If God can deliver then, he can do it right now. I don't care what the devil's saying about your children. I don't care if your child got a joint from here all the way down to past Christian. It don't make God no different. Ain't nothing too hard. I don't care if your little daughter is turning more tricks. Hallelujah. Then she can trick you or trick. Y'all don't hear me. She can be trick or treat with you, Lord. And God knows when to get them. Y'all don't hear me. God will send an angel. Listen, God got angels. Your child should have been dead. God got angels all around the cross. He done made a promise to you that I'm going to save your children. God told me I'm going to save your baby. And see, he had to kill one just to save one. God said, I killed him to save her. I don't care how you have to do it. Just save my babies. Whatever you do, don't let the devil take my children to hell. There's somebody in this place today. You know what's going to deliver you? It's the word of God. The word of God is a strong tower. And the word, that name is a strong tower. And they that run into it shall be safe. It's the word of God that keeper. It was Solomon that said, my son, attend to my words. Incline thy ears unto my saying. Let them not depart from my eyes. And keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they shall be life unto all that find them, and health unto all their flesh. He sinners well and hear them. He cast out devils with his word. There's somebody today. Anybody want to be delivered? Anybody bound? I ain't no sense in lying. You bound by drugs. You bound by alcohol. You bound by sex. You bound with a soul tie. You bound with anger. You bound with unforgiveness. You bound with racism. You bound with perversion. If you got any kind of symptom you want to be delivered, understand you better lift your hand. Because today God sent it over. Some of you need it in a junkyard dog. And only the pure heart get to see God. You better call upon him today. Because I believe as I'm preaching this word, if the interest in the word giveth light, and when God is a lamp unto my feet and light unto my path, now better kill it what I'm saying. That word is given to give light. Where too shall a young man cleanse his ways by taking heed thereunto the word of God. If they have stood in my counsel and heard my word, they're going to turn that man from his sin. What we need today, we need a eyes. But boy, I'm going, look at me. You understand? I'm not happy. Real happiness is going to come when you got peace in your mind. I don't care how many women you got. I don't care how much money you got on the inside. If you ever had a relationship with God, can nothing take the place. Can nothing satisfy you. You understand? Don't let that spirit of pride jump upon you and make you feel like you're all that in the bag of chill. All God got to do is pull the plug on you. All God got to do, you understand? You set it out. You know if you got a bump on your nose. You know if you got a scratch on your head. You know if you got a bump on your arm. But God made you in a way. He made you helpless. You know what he done to you? He made you where you can't see on the inside. What runs your body is not the outside. What runs your body is the inside. You understand? How many folks that have gotten in accidents and didn't have a nosebleed, didn't have a broken finger, didn't have nothing? You understand? But when the fed messed around and got into the emergency room, all of a sudden their heart got weaker and they just died. And they were trying to figure out how they died. And we finally run an x-ray on them. And there's an internal injury. And there's something on the inside that is wrong. God got you where you can't see on the inside. You can only see on the outside. But God sees on both sides. God could be letting something happen on the inside of you right now. And you think it's okay, but you don't understand. You think that little headache, you think that little nosebleed that went you up the other night, you think them little cramps that you used to have, and there might not be the normal cramps of it. It may be something else. Y'all better kill it what I'm saying. You don't know. The woman the other day woke up with a headache. One of the saints family members woke up with a headache. Y'all don't kill it a little nosebleed. Y'all don't kill it that took her. She got weak, started throwing up. 30-something years old. Ran her to the hospital. We're praying around the clock right now. The child had an aneurysm. They made a vessel busted in the child's head. Y'all not listening to me. I'm trying to show you. You understand? You people are looking at the outside. You got it going on the outside. Everything people looking at you praising you for your outside. But God can let something go wrong. And you're going to have to call upon it. He's going to put you in a position. He's going to humble you. He's going to show you. But he got to humble me. He got to humble me. I'm going to humble myself. I'm coming before God. If my people would you call by my name, they humble themselves in prayer and seek my face and turn from the wicked ways. Then will I hear from heaven. You ain't got to kill another child. You ain't got to let my wife lose her mind. You ain't got to send hell upon me. You done shook me once before. You ain't got to make me scream. God, today I'm crying on my own. You ain't got to break me down. Let me tell you something. When you're chosen of God, he'll come hallelujah for you. He's coming to get you because he's chasing them whom he loves. I know this church books today make you feel like you can do what you're going to do. But when you belong to the Lord, you got to come God's way. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end of all the ways of death. He said it shall be a way, and it shall be a highway, and it shall be called the way of holiness. You know what we got to do? We got to come back to God. We got to come back to living right. I don't care what you do. You can exercise. You can take vitamins. You can eat healthy food. Nobody kill you. But sin is going to kill you. The wages of sin is death. You might be getting by. You might be getting by. God may be giving you a space of grace. He may be giving you an hour to say, call upon me. But you praying in here. Because sentence against an evil worker is not speedily executed. Because I ain't got you. The moment you're done with it, you think you done got away. When it's going to be the evil gets said, I'm giving you a space. I'm giving you an hour. I got a preacher and telling you I'm giving you power. I got a preacher telling you that I love you. I got a preacher telling you you ain't got to die like a fool. I got a preacher telling you whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered. I got a preacher telling you that I paid a debt that I did not owe, but you owe the debt you couldn't pay. I got a preacher telling you that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish. I got a preacher telling you that he shed his blood at Calvary. He died. He was wounded for your transgression. He was bruised for your iniquity. And the chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with the stripes you're healed. I got a preacher telling you that God sent him to hell, let him go to hell, and rose again for your justification. got up, I'm going to get up. You understand what I mean? There's some of you today, if you'll call upon him today, God can raise you up. If you call upon him today, I don't care what your doctor say. The doctor said cancer, but Jesus is the answer. And then we talk about arthritis, he is the author and the finisher of your faith. Today, guess what? I don't care. I don't care what the devil says. I don't care what the devil says. This is it. This is it. Don't sit around. Let the devil defeat you. Let the devil just let you. You come to church. You get an opportunity. I open the door for you. And I give you an opportunity. You remember when you used to cry. You remember when the tears used to roll down your face. You know what I told God the other day? I said, God, no matter how people praise me, no matter how people say I did this, that, and the other, I said, Lord, please clothe me with humility. Keep me living my own eyes. Let me always realize if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, where would I be, Lord? Ain't no way in the world that I can preach like I'm preaching. Ain't no way in the world coming out the life that I live, sinning like I sin. If it be not for God, ain't no way I can do it, Lord, because there is no good thing that the world within me. At my best state, Lord, I'm altogether nothing. Y'all better kill me, better say it. My righteousness is as filthy rags, but I get on my knees every morning, every noon. I said, Lord, help me, because I can't help myself, Lord. I don't know what to do. All of my steps in the Lord, Lord, you got to direct me, Lord. In me, in you, I live, I move, I have not been. I can't do it on my own. I can't pray on my own. Nobody can be. I can't pray on my own. I can't fast on my own. I can't even go to church on my own. If it's left up to them, McCoy, I'd be somewhere in a dope house. I'd be somewhere in a strip joint. I'd be somewhere in a gambling shack. I'd be somewhere on the strip. But Lord, oh Lord, God has directed me. I am what I am by the grace of God. That's why today I'm giving God praise. That's why today I'm saying, God, I ain't better than nobody. Lord, thank you, Lord, for saving me. And not only saving me, but I thank you that you gave me after I got saved. I failed so hard. After I got saved, I made a multitude of mistakes. But God, you didn't just save me. You saved me all over again. You saved me all over again. Look at your neighbor and say, you know what I need? I have one feeling. I've been filled with the Holy Ghost. But you know what I need today? I need a refill. I need a refilling. You know what I need today? Save me all over again. Give me back that joy. Give me some restore underneath the joy. You remember when you first got saved? You couldn't nobody beat you. Get up in the morning with your Bible. Getting on your knees. You had a joy because you knew that God was going to talk to you. You was happy. Didn't care about your old friends. They said, look at you. Look at you. But you didn't care. But you were so glad that God had turned you around. That I can spend time with my children now. I got to worry about them. Looking over my shoulders. God, guess what? I want you to save me all over again. Give me another chance, Lord. Give me another man, Lord. Please, God, don't let me be in the church. Don't let me die from the pulpit. Don't let me die on my instrument. Don't let me die as an usher. But God, today, if you do anything, I want you to restore to me the joy of my salvation. Renew within me a clean heart. Renew within me a right spirit, Lord. I want to live holy. God, please, don't leave me like this. Don't let me die. God, thank you for the money. Thank you for the house. Thank you for the car. Thank you for everything. But God, this ain't it. I'm not ungrateful. I'm not unthankful. But this ain't what I want. You know what I want? I want to live in your presence. You know what I want? been slipping and don't nobody know it. I've been singing on the praise team, but I've been slipping. I've been preaching, but I've been slipping. I've been playing my instrument, but I've been slipping. I've been preaching, but I've been slipping. But somebody say, my feet have not well slipped, but the word, the commandments of the word have upheld me. Y'all don't kill me when you say it. Y'all don't kill me when you say it. I got to get out of here. Go Port Mississippi. I told you I'm going to go preach, Lord, but there's something in me that I want to stop. It's like fire shut up in my bosom. I got the fire of the Holy Ghost that's telling me to keep on preaching. Somebody want to live higher. Somebody want to talk higher. Somebody want to change. Broke off of you. You want the burden lifted up off of you. You want hell to let you go. Tell him today, don't let me die like a fool. Don't let this woman drag my soul. Don't let this man take me to hell. Don't let this money make me lose you. God, don't let me get what I want and lose what I had. I had joy. I had peace. I had an anointing. I had joy. I had glory. I had power. God, give it back, Lord. Give me my peace. Give me my anointing. Y'all better get ready. Tell it today. God, send your glory. Send your power. Send here. You let me come to church today to the Saints Hospital. Don't let it be in vain. Don't let it be in vain. God, let me come here. Don't let me leave here without your anointing. Don't let me leave here without getting straight. Don't let me leave here. God, I got stuff in me. I got stuff on me. Get it off. Get it off. Get it off. Get it off. I can't sleep at night. I'm messed up, Lord. I'm tormented from one woman to the next, one man to the next. Get it off. Get it off, God. Give me my peace back. 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 Give me my joy back. Lift your hand up. Say, help me, Jesus. There's somebody got healed just through listening to preach. It's crazy. It's simple. It ain't nothing extravagant. I ain't trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat, trying to get deep. All I'm telling you is you're not going to make it without God's word. You can have your drugs, your women, your money, your everything. Without God, you ain't going to make it. Can I tell you how quick it's getting to happen? It don't take but 2 bombs to drop in this nation, and everything comes to an abrupt stop. Do you see any activity in Iraq? Do you see anything happening? When them bombs drop, them folks is running. Ain't no trucks, that's why they got to send planes over there to drop food off. It ain't like there ain't no food out there in the fields. But ain't nobody crazy enough to jump in a truck and try to bring no food in. Everything stops. I prophesied and I told y'all, early during the year, it's going to be a war. It's going to start at the end of this year. Folk going to look at me and think like it's a joke. We're in a war. We're in a war. If you know anything about them brown skinned people, they don't forget nothing. Now let me show you what them folks calculate. Yes. You killed one. Yes, sir. And because of their anger, they had this big old mass funeral. And in the funeral, it was a stampede. They lost 27 more. And then they sent a missiles trying to kill you and blew up one of their own planes, 150-something people. So now because of you, all of these people have died. And you think we're going to let you go. You're not dealing with Iraq. Yes, sir. You're not dealing with Rwanda. Teach it. Yes, you're not dealing with a third world country. You're dealing with a country that's vast in technology. Yes, sir. You're dealing with a country that's so rich in oil. Yes, sir. Till it supplies oil to Russia and to China. Mm-hmm. You're dealing with a country that are allies, not with just Russia. You're dealing with a country that's allies with China. Teach us. And they sitting up there waiting. Yes, sir. We out there in the water, one of the Russian ships run upon us to let you know. My God. Make a move if you want to. And we sitting around here. See, people in New Orleans, people in Houston. My God. See, we have to be really careful because see, that's the Meccas. These are the finance centers. These are the finance centers. That's why when Katrina came, the whole nation shut down. This was the oil, this was the finances. Houston. They got bases, Russia and them got bases over in Mexico, down near the Panama. What's going to stop them? All they got to do is let missiles come this way. You got planes called stealth fighters. And we're so greedy. Yes. We're so greedy. We sell all of our patents. We sell everything. Don't you know they got weapons that can fly past our radar? You don't believe nothing I say, there will be bombs that will drop in this nation. I had a vision. Now, if I have a dream, that's yeah or nay. But I had a vision. And I saw bombs dropping in America. And I saw the people so scared they couldn't even run. They could not even run. Because they had never seen nothing like this. There will be bombs that's going to drop in this nation. I saw the people in the White House, they're going to be scrapping it. Like scampering, like trying to figure out what to do. I saw so much chaos. I saw so much confusion. I saw people losing their mind. I saw people just going bananas. He said, the wicked shall be turned into hell. In every nation that forgets God. You know what we've done? We done forgot him. We done forgot him. He used to be the top priority. Your job, your money, your house, your children, nothing had priority. You didn't let nothing beat you to the house of God. Now, everything, look at the stuff that gets your attention. Look at the stuff that gets your attention. Look at the stuff that got your mind right now where you can't even think. Look at the stuff. If people could be here, but they said they're at home watching the game. Look at the stuff. Look at the stuff that's got people messed up. He gonna make America that's all right. You ain't got to hear nothing I say. When I sat up there in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I sat up there and cried for 8 years, and I had a vision, and I saw water. I saw water on New Orleans underwater. I saw people killing it for food and water. I saw army tanks going all up and down the street. Y'all was there 8 years. They said I was crazy. They said, you crazy. God ain't gonna do that to New Orleans. What about all the children? I said, I'm not prophesying. This ain't me. This God. Amen. God didn't care nothing about no kids in Nineveh. Amen. God didn't care nothing about no kids in Sodom and Gomorrah. God didn't care nothing about no kids over in Haiti. God didn't care about no kids over in Puerto Rico. See what you do, you done made God come out of his place. His place is the mercy seat.
Yes, sir.
He no more mercy. He gonna come out and see. I prophesied for 8 years. We was over there on their heart in that revival. And I fell on my knees and I screamed. Some of you was in that meeting. Sister Diane, all y'all was in that meeting. I fell on my knees in that meeting with the scream and said, God, please hold the judgment. First hurricane came. Everybody said, they said, evacuate. One of the biggest evacuations of all the history of America. Coming straight toward New Orleans. Church said, Brother McCoy, what do we do? I said, we don't do nothing. I said, that was going to turn and go to Houston. Second one was coming straight, another evacuation. Straight to New Orleans. Y'all was there, y'all was following me. They said, Brother McCoy, what do we do? Lord spoke to me and said this was going to turn and hit Mobile. But the third one came. Y'all was there.
Yes, sir.
On that Sunday morning, I said, fill your tanks up with gas. I said, God gonna tear New Orleans up. I said, fill your tanks with gas. Fill your gas tanks up. Folk was calling me, said, are you gonna leave? God said, don't you go nowhere. As a prophet, you stay there. As a prophet, you stay there. Folk called me. He said, well, McCoy, you gonna leave? I said, God told me don't leave. You sure God said don't leave? You said God gonna tear it up. I said, well, if God didn't tell me to stay, then I'll meet you in heaven. I said, but if God told me to leave, told me to stay, and he spared my life, can you imagine what kind of faith I'm going to have in him when it's over? We went home that night. I filled my tanks up, my gas tank up, and that little Suburban had TV. We in there about 12 o'clock. Everything, all of a sudden, the wind began to blow. All of a sudden, the lights went out. You could hear folks screaming, pitch black. Folk was screaming. But me, my son, little Junie, we're sitting there. She's a little bitty girl eating some Cheetos. And we was sitting in the house, the air conditioner was still running. And I messed around, dozed off to sleep. I got a big old tree in the backyard, twice as big as this pulpit. In the backyard of the house, on the west bank. And I had a dream that the tree was falling on the house. I jumped straight up. Like a fear gripped me, and the Lord spoke to me, and he looked at my little grandbaby. She just looked at me, and she just a smile on her face. She said, you see that baby? He said, you see that baby? You see why that baby's so cool and calm? Because she believed her papa ain't going to let nothing happen to her. He said, now you got to believe that her papa ain't going to let nothing happen to her, or your papa ain't going to let nothing happen to you. Amen. And I sat there, and the agony got so hot. Till I told him, I said, get your blankets and your pillows. We went outside, pitch black. I mean, the wind was blowing everywhere. We got inside my truck, and I cut the TV on in the truck. You could see them folk downtown, folks screaming. Folks, I mean, it was messed up. Messed up. We sat in the truck with the air conditioner on in the driveway and went to sleep. Woke up in the morning. It was daylight. When I got out the car, God said, get out the car. The house next door, display all across the street tore up. Branches and trees on the cars. Water was everywhere. Water come 4 feet up to my front porch and stopped.
Hallelujah.
Then but one shingle got off my house. Nothing, no water damage, no nothing. One shingle. I mean, a shingle not that big. God said, go. Go into the backyard. And I went in the backyard and the tree was gone. And I looked over on the other side of got a little ravine, little ditch. I looked over on the other side of the tree. I tell y'all, the tree was sitting on somebody else's house. God took the tree. If the tree was gone, when I jumped up under God, took that tree in. But I had an inclination like the tree was coming over on the house. God pulled that tree up, rooted that tree up out of the ground and put it on top of somebody else's house. I sat there when pastors had left their members. Pastors had left and deserted, caught plays and left their members. I got on that cell phone. Some of y'all remember. All of y'all. And I called every one of these members. 32 families. And I took every dime I had. Some of y'all remember. And we caravaned. Those of you that obeyed me. Couldn't no motels, wasn't no gas. We were going down the highway. And I made a phone call to one of my secretaries. I said, find us a place. Got all the way down through Lake Charles. One of the secretaries called back and said, we found y'all a place. Hotel Casino. Paul, y'all was all with me. 32 families of y'all. Set up there, get down to the casino, Hotel Casino. And I goes in my room. And I went in there with the praying, paid for everything. I paid for every single person that was with me. I ain't boasting, I'm saying this. And I got in the motel and went to praying and called on God and said, Lord, show us what to do. Well, I'm squatting on my knees. A knock came on the door. Paul came. Here's $100. I said, what? I knew they had gambling stuff downstairs. Come off the street, right? So gave me $100. Pretty soon somebody knocked on the door. They gave me $150. Somebody knocked on the door. Paul came back. He was 75. I said, y'all ain't down there gambling. No, man, God, no. FEMA is putting money in the machine. And when we put our cards in there, they're sending money back to us. Y'all better hear me what I'm saying. We stayed in there almost a week. Y'all don't hear me. But come time to have church, I said I got to have church. God gave us favor in the eyes of the hotel owners. They gave us the whole top upstairs. We had church up in the, somebody said, I wonder what Brother McCoy doing. Somebody said, I need no one Brother McCoy having church. I'm in a casino upstairs and the top floor of the restaurant is breaking out revival. The workers can't even go to work, but we preaching and having revival in the casino. Y'all better hear me what I'm saying. God moved. Caravan come up out of there and went to Augusta. God put some of them folk in houses that they ain't never lived in. But let me tell you something. They was killing them folk. Killing for food and for water. They was taking babies, taking human bodies. We had that tent up there on Claiborne's and down there. I think at Claiborne St. Bernard. They had bodies that they took the belts and put the belts around the people's neck and tie them to the stop sign. So after Katrina go down, they could find the body. Babies floating. Women on the time of the administration just sitting up there trying to just get to a stove, coming up over that hill and soldiers shooting them folk down. Army tanks up and down. But they said I was crazy. Preachers come to my house trying to run me out of town for a prophecy. I'm telling you again, there's going to be bombs going to hit this nation. You don't have to believe. I'm not your regular preacher. I'm not your regular preacher. There's going to be bombs going to hit this nation. And you set up here playing. I hate to say this, but there's going to be a day like arenas and where people go, like crowds, that's going to be a thing in the past. Folk going to be scared. Give them all you can get right now, because they're going to be scared to go anywhere where there's a crowd.
Amen.
The Lord spoke to me and told me that terrorism is going to be strategic. It's like the way they're going to do it, it's not going to be like wild and stuff. See, you're dealing with a country that has nuclear capabilities. You're dealing with countries that over there, they make a little scrap bomb and tag them and blow up and put nails in it. You're dealing with a country that can make a small nuclear bomb. And say they die. You know how they die? See, we scared. We can't even give up sin. We can't give up some cigarettes. Them folk will die for honor. They'll die. It's an honor for them to be a kamikaze, to be a suicide bomber. Because they taught that they have a place in the kingdom of God once they get there. It's an honor for them to die. We can't die for nothing. But terrorism is going to be strategic. They already know.
Amen.
They already know. See, here's the key. Here's the key. Anytime you get one of them folk in leadership positions messed up, and they want you to get your eyes and your mind off of that stuff, they start a war. You ain't thinking about no impeachment. Leave that man alone, man. Let's figure this war out, man. Forget that junk. Leave that junk alone. We'll get that later. Ain't that what we thinking?
Amen.
Forget that. That's what they want you to do. But see, you did the wrong thing here. This is the wrong thing. But in the eyes of God, it's the right thing.
It's all right.
Because I'm going to bring America down. This God-forsaken nation, and I don't give them everything. I've gone to countries, they got a plank sitting on 2 wood stumps, 2 tree stumps. They got kerosene lamps, no windows. Kerosene lamps. Dirt floors. I had to drive for miles to go run revival. And folk walk for 25, 30 miles just to get to church. And someone, when they get to church, they stand all night long. And here you got air conditioning, padded pews. And you sitting up here putting God on a time limit. Sitting up here, somebody got to beg you to come to church. Somebody got to bribe you to come to church. Somebody got to bargain with you to come to church. And I'm going to tell you something. God spoke to me and told me there won't be a building big enough to hold the people to come and keep people coming to hear this word. Folk get ready to come to hear this life. Because this is going to be the only peace they're going to have. You watch and see folk going to be camping up in the house of God. You watch, folk going to be running up, and you ain't got to beg folk to pray.
Amen.
Folk ain't got to beg them to pray. Katrina came, folk was screaming. 9/11 come, folk was screaming. But something about this God-forsaken country, every time something God, they forget. They forget and go right back. But this time God will keep something on your mind.
Amen.
God will keep something on your mind. And I know they don't believe in these preachers prophesying. It's going to be doubles this year. Those of you that seeking God, God will put a double anointing on. He's going to have to. He's got to put something on you that's going to protect you. It's going to be double disaster. It's going to be double chaos. Australia. 1 billion animals. 1 billion animals burn up. And they can't stop the fire. Tornadoes just went through the north, the Midwest, all in the southeast up here. Earthquakes hitting Puerto Rico. Storms all over in China, Taiwan. Bombs and wars. Total chaos. Folk in this nation killing themselves, can't take the pressure. But this is your only peace. This is going to be your health. This is going to be your health. You're going to have this to stay healthy. You're going to have this to stay healthy. You think it's your doctors. Look at the news now. Doctors, the hospitals are filing bankruptcy. Hospitals. It's all right. You don't want to pray now, right? This is all you have. This is all you're going to have. This is all you're going to have. And I know you don't want to believe me. I know you think that I'm just regularly talking and God ain't going to do this. Right here in Gulfport, Mississippi, a man holding his wife's hand. That wind hit that man, took his wife out of his hand. He was sitting on national news right here in Gulfport, Mississippi, crying because he don't know what happened to his wife. Days went on and they couldn't find his wife till somebody looked up in a tree.
Lord,
And half of her body was up in a tree. Babies were snatched out of people's hands. Somebody got to beg you to pray. Somebody got to beg you to pray. Somebody got to beg you to pray. Somebody got to beg you to run an altar. You set up with all these pains in your back and pains in your head that you don't have a clue because you can't see it. You go to the doctor, he give you some old symptom because he trying to make money, but you can't see it. You don't know what God is doing in your life. You don't know what buttons God is pushing. You don't know God ain't got to give you a pain. One of my preachers, 30-something years old, right there in Slidell, Louisiana, health guru, gymnast, dietitian. Day before Christmas a couple of years ago, he didn't have no pain. What? God just stopped his heart. Eyes rolled back up in his head and hit his head against the wall. 34 years old. That was a sad funeral for me to preach. But that can't happen to you, Kelly. That can't happen to you. That can't happen to your child. That can't happen to your child. And I'm sitting up there. I'm a man of God. I'm Brother Darryl McCoy, and I'm seeking God and praying, and these my children. But I'm in a revival. I'm in a revival with these boys. Was you with me? But I'm sitting up there. And that night, I woke up, and the Lord spoke to me and said, you've been a good daddy. Don't let nobody tell you you've been. I get a phone call. They said that the sheriff has come by asking about your son. Sheriff deputy, well, I know that when the sheriff deputy comes, either he done did something wrong or something else happened. I couldn't go back to sleep. I had a couch in the motel room. And I sat on the couch and I said, God, I put it in your hand. We got up at 10:30 that morning. I told the boys, let's get ready to go eat lunch. Me, you, Eddie, who else was with you? You. And I sat up there, sitting at the table. Eddie wasn't with us. But sitting up there at the table. And I was sitting up there eating my lunch. And Eddie called me on the telephone. And he said, Dad, Josh is dead. Ask the boys. I said, the Lord give it, the Lord take it. 22-year-old child, my baby. I didn't charge God foolishly. I sat there and I went. I picked his graveside. I went by the morgue and I made sure I picked his clothes. I went by and made sure my baby was okay. The mortician said, I ain't never seen a parent do like you. And I'm standing giving God praise. I'm by myself most of the time, and I just wanted to be by myself, but I knew, I said, God. They said, who gonna preach the funeral? I said, God told me to preach. And I got up and preached. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. I charge him not foolishly. You don't know till it comes to your door. You won't know until he try you, till he test you, till he see if you really love him with all your heart. This is my year. This is going to be the year that God's going to reward me.
hallelujah.
And not just me, but every single one of you that have made it up in your mind to choose Jesus. Every single one of you that say, Lord, God, give it a reward you for your suffering, for your pain. Some of you could have divorced. Some of you could have walked away. Some of you could have got bitter, but some of you held on. This is going to be a year that God's getting ready to do your Job thing. I'm getting ready to give you twice as much. I'm getting ready to put my arms of protection on you. This is it. If you're in this building here today and you have need of a Savior, stand on your feet. Come on. almost through. The only thing gonna keep you is this word. I sat up the other day and somebody reminded me, said, you're a walking miracle. There's no way a man almost 66 years old with your health. And I'm not boasting, I'm not bragging. But I don't even take a vitamin. Drink a little Irish moss and take some honey. Nobody but God that's keeping me mind, body, and soul. Somebody reminded me the other day that your life is a miracle. Now I know every bit of it, that's why I'm not taking no chances. If you want to live like you want to live, that's your business. If you want to play with God, that's your business. But I know right now there's too many demons loose on the face of this earth. I'm saying this and I'm getting ready to pray. I'm from Denver, Colorado. And they kill a lot of livestock. They got meat houses, packing houses. And they got where they take this beef and they put it on a meat hook. You know what I'm talking about? Take this big rack and they put it on a meat hook. And they hang that meat on these hooks. Because the hooks are sharp at the tip and they go like this. And you come by and grab that meat and take it off the hook, right? But then they got another hook called a fish hook. That hook goes up like this, comes back down, and goes up again. That means when you go down on it, you get hooked and hooked. You get hooked coming in, and you get hooked coming out. What the devil is doing now, the devil has got fish hook. And usually when you take a fish hook out of a fish's mouth, you usually tear his mouth off. Because you got to rip it. Because he gets hooked and then hooked. That means he get hooked going in and he get hooked coming out. Satan ain't playing. Some folk get the fish hook. Some of you at the end of the day, you might just have got hooked. And that's easy. But it ain't nothing too hard for God. Amen. I got fish hooked one day. I got a little ripped and torn. But God got me off the hook. Lift your hand and say, God, get me off the hook. Get me off the hook. If you in here tonight, you on the hook or you on the meat hook, the fish hook, it don't make no difference what hook you on today. You tell God, I want to get off. All these little perverted spirits these people on, man, you got to cry out to God. You got to ask God. You got to get this off of me. People are going to hell. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want nothing on me. Don't let the church world make you think you right. Don't let the church world make you think you're all right. You can't have 1,500 women to carry on like that. You can't live like that. That's sin. There's some folk up in here today. You might just be on the hook. But there's some of you may be just a little bit more severe. You hook going down, hook coming out. God may have to do a little ripping, but lift your hand and say, whatever you got to do, get me off of this thing. If you in this building tonight, I ain't begging you. I only listen. Proud people, arrogant people, folk that feel like they okay in a bag of chips, they can't run to the altar. You mean run up in these pulpits. You better run to these altars. I tell you what, you better find yourself on these altars. You better find you a place. Scoot on over. Y'all scoot on over. Y'all run over. Get up in this pulpit. Y'all men, run up in here. Come on, let's cry out to God. Father, in the name of Jesus. Lord, as I come before you today, God, like never before. Lord, you spoke to me, God, and you told me, God, to esteem your word more than anything. You sent your word and you healed. You sent your word and you cast out devils. God, the church world, God, is thinking that we can live like the devil, do whatever we want to do, God. Oh, but God, there's a way to seem right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You done been to some church where the devil make you can feel like you got one foot in the world and one foot in the church. But he said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. All that is in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life. And it's not of the Father. He that is friends with the world is an enmity against God. God said, present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. Tell him today, God, I thank you for the my God, give me back my spirit, Lord. I'm not trying to tell you I'm not thankful for the house of God, but this ain't what I want, Lord. I'm like David, Lord. I will not be satisfied until I awaken with your likeness, Lord. There's a dying world out there. There's a world that's dying, Lord. They need the lipids, God. They need the yokes broke off of them, Lord. God, they need the fish hook took out of their soul, Lord. God, there's somebody need to die and deliver us, Lord. God, deliver us, Lord. We're calling upon you. You said, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered, Lord. God, that murder, the men of the houses, the men, all of the sex, it ain't helping me, Lord. God, I'm tormented this nights. I can't even sleep, Lord. God, I'm taking pills to go to bed, pills to wake up, Lord. God, I'm messed up, Lord. The devil is tearing my home up, Lord. God, put that cry back in it, Lord. You told me today, God, to tell a preacher, Lord, if we live right, you're going to wait for it, Lord. You want to move for it, Lord. Oh, God, today, Lord, if we come back to you, Lord, you're going to send miracles in their homes. You're going to send miracles in their body. You're going to send miracles in their mind. Call upon them with your whole heart. Come on, please, mourn like a bear, howl like a bear. Where that mother that's going to cry out for a child. Where that wife that's going to cry for a husband. Where that husband will cry for his family. Where the jails, where the Jeremiahs, where the Esthers, where the prophetess Annas, where the women. Lord, I take up a lamentation. Where those, Lord, to move, God, where those, Lord, to cry on the throne, grab a hold of the horns of the altar, don't let them go. Till God bring the livers to your church, to your house, to your leader, to your house. Call upon them, tell them that they, Lord. God, put that cry back in my soul again, God. Put that spirit back in me, Lord. Let the spirit of holiness come upon us, Lord. God, give us that boldness to live right, Lord. Please, God, take me back, Lord, to the place where I first received you, Lord. Give me back my cry, Lord. Give me back my spirit, Lord. Give me back my anointing, Lord. Give me back my cry, Lord. Give me back my dedication, Lord. God, save me all over again, Lord. Revive me again, Lord. Lord, restore me again, Lord. Restore the joy that used to be happy, Lord. To come to church, give it back, Lord. Give me that joy that I used to have when I would open up my Bible. Give me that joy when I would wake up early in the morning to call upon you, Lord. Come on and cry out for me. Cry out, man. Come on and call upon it. Come on and call upon it. I dare you to cry out with your whole heart. I dare you to call upon it with everything you got within you. Call upon it right now and tell him, Lord, God, please, Lord. I can't see what's on the inside of my body. And I ain't told about it, God. But I'm feeling pains everywhere, Lord. Oh, woman, you've been feeling pain. You've been feeling pains when you ain't got no business feeling pain. But some of the pains that ain't the devil, it's God trying to get your attention to call upon him. But God, Lord, you ain't got to take a child from me, Lord. God, you ain't can't be killed one of my children to get my attention, Lord. God, you ain't got to let something grow inside my body, Lord. God, you ain't got to let me wake up in a sight web, Lord. God, you ain't got to let something bad happen to me. I don't need another car with me today, Lord. I'm volunteering on my own. I'm calling upon you, Lord. I'm calling upon you, Lord. I'm calling upon you, Lord. I want to be the living Lord. I want you to get this hook out of me. I got some hooks in me, Lord. I got some soul ties, Lord. I got a woman I can't shake her. I got a man I can't shake her. I got some dope I can't shake her. I got some habits I can't shake her. Get these hooks. Get these hooks. Get these hooks. God, I'm letting it pour down. God, I'm blessed that I got the business. Get these hooks. Crowd. There's stuff your wife don't know about it. There's stuff your husband don't know about it. Get these hooks out. There's stuff the congregation don't know. Preacher, get these hooks. Y'all better cry. You better cry. The bombs are going to fall in America. Where are you going to be found? God can protect us. Cry for your family. Cry for your children. Jesus. Oh God. Oh God. Come on, cry out. Come on, cry out. Come on, cry that lost your cry. Some of you mothers that lost your cry. Some of you prophetess that lost your cry. Some of you that God that brought you out and blessed you over the beyond. You was crying. You was crying. Oh, when God opened the door, I told you to be there. Lest you forget the Lord. Tell him today, Lord. God, whatever you do, don't let me forget you, Lord. Don't let me forget where you brought me from, Lord. Don't let me forget how you brought me out, Lord. Don't let me forget, God, that I was in intensive care. That it wasn't looking for me to live, God. Oh, you spared my life, Lord. I tell you, you give me another chance, Lord. But I was in that courtroom, Lord. Don't let me forget, Lord, the vow that I made. God, don't let me forget, Lord, when that relationship, my hair falling out. I'm about to lose my mind. But I told you, if you get me out of this, God, don't let me forget my vow. Call upon him, Lord, and call upon him within him. Call upon him, man, and tell him, Lord, God, Lord, please, restore to me the joy of my salvation. Please, Lord, forgive me, Jesus. Please, Lord, have mercy upon me, Lord. Please, Lord, spare your people, Lord. Lord, spare this nation, Lord. Cry out New Orleans, cry out Houston, cry out Atlanta, cry out New York, cry out Miami, cry out Virginia, cry out California, cry out. You cry out. Those of you have cried. Call upon it. Destruction is imminent. Oh God. Don't let me hear the voice of a prophet, Lord. Let him watch me prophesy. Let him see me come to pass. Put the cry, put the fear of God back in the heart. Put the fear of God back in the heart, Lord. Put the fear of God back in the heart, Lord. God, don't let me be praying, Lord. God, I'm on my knees right now, Lord. Don't let me be the cause of my children going to hell. Don't let me be the cause of the devil walking in my house, taking my family. God, don't let me be the one that opens the door for the spirit of destruction. God, you better cry out, mama, cry out, daddy, cry out, preacher. Jesus! Preachers and prophets, until the money's coming, money ain't gonna be able to buy nothing. If people have been filthy richer than Iraq, and when bombs begin to fall, they couldn't even spend their money. They use their money to put it in the fireplaces just to keep warm. Oh, you better cry out to God, please, like it can't happen in America. We'd have been living in this bubble in this country. We ain't even prepared for war. Houses are not built for war. We're not even prepared for war. We never had war on our soil. We don't even know what to do. We don't even know how to react. Oh, you better cry out, cry out, cry out. When the judgments of God are in the land, the people of the earth are going to learn to be righteous. You better cry. I'm going to make you cry, America. I'm going to make America scream. You don't want to fall on your knees and pray on your honor. I'm going to make you scream, mama. I'm going to make you scream, man. I'm going to make you scream, young lady. I'm going to make you scream, young man. You don't want to pray on your honor. I'm going to make America scream. I'm going to bring this nation to their knees. I'm going to make the churches fill up. They ain't just coming to hear no choir. They're coming to cry out, God, help me. But you better hope and pray that God will hear your prayer. Because some folk you going to cut them off. Some folk you said you're going to call upon me. But I will not answer. You better hope God hear you. You better hope God hear you. You better cry while he's near. Seek him while he may be found. Jesus! Father in heaven, Jesus. Oh God. Lord, I got to have you. Lord, I need a miracle, Jesus. God, listen, please. Touch our president, Jesus. Touch him, Lord, help him to make the right decisions. God, touch his family and bless him. Have mercy upon this nation. God, if you can find 50 people crying out. God, there's people around this nation that's tuned into this live stream. God, put that cry back in them. Put that cry, let them travail for their nation. Let them travail for their country. Let the preachers call for a solemn assembly. Let them call for a chosen fast. Cry out, children. You don't pray now, you don't pray later. You don't pray now, you'll pray in hell. And that's what prayer means, they're going to do you no good. Pray now, pray now. Help me with my wife. Help me with my husband. Help me with my children. Help me with my co-workers. Help me in the church. Help me with my sons and my daughters. Help me with my mom and my daddy. Help me. Help me, Jesus. Never fight my body. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. Help my children, Jesus. Help my children, Jesus. Standing on your feet all over the building with your head bowed and your eyes closed. Don't look around, just bow your head. I don't want you to bow your head. I want you to tell him, God, please. If I ever needed your help, I need you, please. Get this spirit of pride off of me. Get this spirit of pride off of me. Get this spirit of pride off of me. This they don't want me to cry, Jesus. The spirit of pride don't want me to cry, Jesus. You gotta get this off of me, Jesus. Don't leave me like this. Don't leave me like this, Jesus. Don't leave me like this, Jesus. You got that doctor's report, you better call upon him. You better call upon him. Oh, you don't know. He can only tell you so much. You done got that doctor's report. God trying to get your attention. Call on him, please call on him, Jesus. They leave it here. But they ain't just leave it here. They leave it here and dying and going to hell. Please, 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 please. Father in heaven, I'm asking you for a miracle. You're going to have to help me, Jesus. Please, you're going to have to help us. You're going to have to help us, Jesus. You're going to have to help us. You're going to have to help us. You're going to have to help us. Please, we can't help ourselves, Jesus. Lay the axe to these familiar spirits. God, lay the axe to the root of these familiar spirits. Please help me. Please help me. Please help me. Please help me, Jesus. John, come on, reach up to him, reach up. Come on, reach up to him, 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 reach up to him. Please, Jesus, help me, please. Help him to believe me as a prophet, Lord, please, Jesus. People think, God, I hate people, Lord, I only speak what you tell me, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. God, don't let us wait too late, Jesus. Don't let that preacher wait too late, Jesus. Don't let that prophetess wait too late, Jesus. Don't let that pastor wait too late, Jesus. Don't let that mother, father wait too late, Jesus. Don't let that young lady wait too late, Jesus. Don't let that boy and girl wait too late, Jesus. Grab somebody by the hand. I want you to pray for us. Grab somebody by the hand and pray for us. Help us, Lord. Deliver us, Lord. Free us, Lord. Strengthen us, Lord. Open the door for us, Lord. Loose the shackles off for us. Lift the burden off for us, Lord. Break the chains off for us, Lord. Open up our eyes, Lord. Deliver our soul, Lord. Lord, make a way, Lord. Save our children, Lord. Bless our marriages, Lord. Help, Lord. Give us peace in our mind. Please pray for us. 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 Help us. Deliver us, Lord. Strengthen us, Lord. Oh, God, sanctify us, Lord. Purify us, Lord. Protect 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 us, Lord. Touch our children, Lord. Deliver our babies, Lord. Touch our preachers, Lord. Pray for us, saints. Pray for us. Intercede, intercede, saints. Intercede, saints. Intercede, saints. Intercede, saints. Intercede. Intercede for your nation. Intercede for your president. Intercede for your pastor. Intercede for your husbands and wives. Intercede for your children. Jesus. Help us. Help us. Help us. Help us. Help us, Lord. Deliver us, Lord. Father in heaven, Lord, today I speak your word. I'm asking you for a divine miracle. If I ever asked you anything, today I need a miracle. I need a miracle. You better lift your voice up and say whatever comes out your mouth. You better lift your voice up and whatever comes out your mouth. Some of you might want to give him a praise. Some of you might want to tell him, Lord, I need you, Lord, more than anything in the heaven, the earth, and the universe. Somebody better lift your hand and say, Lord, I give you praise for every trial. I give you thanks, Lord. God, somebody better lift their voice and say, to be after you, Lord, to be on my side, Lord. Somebody better lift their voice and say, Lord, I thank you, Lord, I should be dead, Lord. I don't deserve none of this, Lord. I don't deserve nothing, Lord, but Lord, it ain't nobody but you, Lord. God, this stuff I done done that don't nobody know about, but Lord, you've been watching over me, keeping me, Lord, protecting me, Lord. Please have mercy, Lord. Lord, blessed is the man who sins, the Lord forgive, whom he does not impute iniquity, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for covering me, Lord. Thank you for watching over me, Lord. Thank you for keeping me, Lord. Thank you for forgiving all my iniquities, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for delivering my sins, Jesus. Y'all better go to pray. You better magnify me in advance. Thank God for your divine protection. Thank God for your children that God did already save. Thank God in advance for your babies that God gonna bring them to the foot of the cross. Ain't nothing too hard for the Lord. 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 Call upon him, touch it. Thank you. cry, Jesus. Let them cry, Jesus. God, you said you would allow us to be tempted above that which we ate of Jesus. Lord, Lord Jesus. That's all, Lord Jesus. Did they cry, Lord? Did they cry, Lord? Did they cry, Lord? Did they cry, Lord?